Hello, I'm BX Toycat, and welcome back to QnA Saturday. QnA Saturday is a weekly series I run on my channel where I answer your questions about a variety of subjects, usually centered around the next update coming to Minecraft console. We're currently calling that next update TU46 or Title Update 46 because of that 360 tiny update thing, and basically all of these questions are about either that, Minecraft in general, or just about, the world and stuff. So all of the questions do come in from last week's Q&A. If you want to leave any for next week because you didn't get them answered here, you can leave it in the comments down below, and that's where I'll go and pick some questions for next week. So hopefully you do all enjoy this week's Q&A Saturday. If you do, like the video and let me know because that helps out the channel and lets me know you do like the Q&As and want to keep seeing more of those. But with that said, let's get straight into it already, shall we? With the first one here, which comes in from Chickens, who says, I really like how Toycat doesn't only stick to Minecraft questions, but also answers questions like, what cheese do you like? So that was a little paraphrased, and it was actually one of the more popular comments, so I figured I would address it, because a lot of people aren't too familiar as to what Q&A Saturday is kind of all about and what it's meant to be. Basically, Q&A Saturday is just the weekly, series where I can answer your comments and answer the more coherent and more, I guess the more out there questions that people have to ask of me, and sometimes that is something like, what cheese do you like? And sometimes it's about updates. So yeah, the reason this series is the way it is, where it's like a hybrid, is because if I went all the way towards update questions, or all the way towards just, personal other stuff questions, most people don't seem to like it either way. Like, if I go all the way in update questions, there just isn't enough, information to do, 10, 15 questions on, and if you go all the way in personal questions, not as many people seem to like the video, whereas this hybrid formula seems to be what most people like the best, and that's why Q&A Saturdays, it seems like it's going to be a mixture of whatever I'm doing on my channel that week. Again, it's usually Minecraft console newsy stuff right now, but it's whatever I'm doing on my channel mixed with, the personal questions, and I think that's kind of a good way to do it, because it seems, it's what people ask in general, so that's a good way to, it's good to answer both those types of questions rather than ignoring one. So yeah, that's why it's a mixture of why do you like cheese and when is TU46 coming out, and I kind of like it that way personally. But with that said, let's move to the second question, which comes in from Sparrow Gamer GR, who appears to actually be Captain Jack Sparrow, and they say, hey Toycat, how do you think that the Woodland Mansion will work on console, as it is extremely rare? So yeah, this is one of those questions that as soon as I see most Minecraft PC features, my mind's immediately thinking, how is that going to work on console? Because sometimes, they work really, really well on console, perhaps even better there, and sometimes it's one of those things where it's like, that's kind of hard to find. So think about the abandoned villages. Like, you wouldn't even know about those if it wasn't for, the seed I shot off that long time ago, or the seed that's coming out tomorrow, plug for Seed Sunday. But yeah, stuff like that you very rarely find, and I think that's how they do this. I think it might be one of those features that is meant to be like a 1 in every 10 seeds or something like that, which isn't necessarily the best way to implement them, but the only other way you can do it, because there's only two real options, is to either make it really, really common, which wouldn't really be too great, like make it so every world has one, or you can just make it so that it's the same rough rarity, but, very few worlds have them. I think they'll probably take a step in between, like they've done for most other features, like igloos, for instance, and they'll make it so, some worlds will have them, maybe one in every, 1 every 10 or something like that, because, again, igloos aren't massively common, but you still can find them, and I think that's how mansions will work, too. So, yeah, how, I look at most features on the PC, and I think, will that work on console? And right now, I think the Woodland Mansion's the weirdest one, but it's not the hardest PC feature that they're going to have to port to the console. So, yeah, that's the answer to your question, Sparrow Gamer. Hopefully it's useful in some way. With that said, though, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from April Chica Troop, I hope I got that right, who says, if you were to design and create a battle map, time and effort aside, what theme would it be and what would it include? So if I was in charge of the next battle map, what would I, make it happen and stuff? So I've given the idea before of Minecraft in space battles, because I think that'd be cool. There's this golden concept of using endstone to make it look like the moon's surface, have some beacons around, have jump too, so you feel like an astronaut. That would be a crazy cool battle map, because again, it'd be your fighting in space and stuff. But if you wanted to take another concept and you're like, okay, no, Toycat, you can't use your same idea, brand new idea for this map. So what I would say is use a map that's very heavily focused on range combat, because bear in mind this is gonna be like a one-off battle map. Apparently I'm making up the situation myself, but if it's a one-off battle map and you can do it separately to the other ones, I'd love to have a battle map that's almost entirely focused on range combat. Maybe use the Halo mashup pack. I think that would fit quite well with what I'm thinking of here. But yeah, make it so there's a range-based combat thing, because I was just thinking, wouldn't it be cool if everyone had bows and we're all doing it that way? I think that'd be an interesting concept for a first map, and I'd love to see a battle map that's focused around range combat. Maybe make it a Halo mashup map. Maybe just make it in space. Maybe combine those two concepts: Halo fights in space. I don't know exactly what I do, but I do something involved. I'd like to mix up the battle formula. That would be what I'd do if I was suddenly in control of the battle team. Again, just clarify: don't work at 4J Studios. Don't even have any direct connections to them. So there you go. I just because there's always someone who's like, Toycat, can you tell 4J Studios to add banners or whatever it is? And it's like, but that's not my ability. But anyway, that said, let's move to the next question, which comes in from Darren Walloshin, who says, #QnA, when will we get amplified worlds, customized worlds, hardcore mode, and change difficulty in-game without host options? So he named 4 features which are on the PC right now but aren't on the console. I think they're probably the biggest ones, besides command blocks, which are kind of a tricky one. But yeah, when we'll be getting all those 4 things. So for customized worlds and hardcore mode, for some reason, I don't know whether they're development issues or whether they just can't can't port to console. For some reason, they decided not to put those there. However, when it comes to changing difficulty in-game, changing difficulty in-game is possible. You just need host privileges, which is kind of bizarre. I think they should separate it so you can do it otherwise. I kind of get why it is there, though, because you've got to think, like, it is almost cheating to change the game mode in-game as far as the leaderboards are concerned. If you don't care about the leaderboards, say, you can just have host privileges turned on, which I don't really like the solution of, but it's kind of a thing. So Amplified Worlds, though, as the last one here, this is the most interesting one to me because, again, according to the modders, I talked to a fair amount of them that mod the console versions and, kind of access the game files because that's where you see the kind of sneak updates in the future. Basically, Amplified exists on console right now. There's just no way to access it. You can have a world which is set to be amplified, and it will generate as amplified if you do so. Again, I don't know what the success rates on that are. I don't know if it crashes the last gen consoles, but amplified is possible, but for some reason they've decided not to put it in there. Again, maybe it's part of like a future update, maybe they just, it has performance issues, but for now, all we know is that amplified worlds is possible, and the other three, for some reason, they decided not to put them in there, and I guess that's something you have to deal with. So, yeah, amplified worlds is possible. I'd love to see customized worlds too. I think that'd be an amazing little thing, but as far as the other ones, who knows? I guess ask for just studios, but I don't have the exact answers for you, as much as I wish I did. So, with that said, the next question here comes in from DJ2013 Mo, DJ2016 Mo. That's quite the long name there, by the way. Who says, IBX Toycat, question mark. So, in response to your question, yes, IBX Toycat. But do you think we are in a Matrix? Do I think that we're in a Matrix or like a simulated world? I don't think we're in like a Matrix-style Matrix. The robots overtook us and now we're in a simulation. I don't think we're in that sort of a world. But there's an interesting thought experiment. I think that if you can believe that if there is a possible way of simulating any universe inside a computer or any universe inside a real universe, I guess, and then you can simulate a universe inside that universe. If that is possible, then that chain goes down infinitely. And if you have an infinite chain of universes simulating universes, then the odds are, because we can't work out which one we're in, we're probably in a simulation. And I know that was really complex to say, but that was one of the things that made me go, yep, probably a simulation. Doesn't really bother me because it's obviously there's no differences between a simulation and the real one. So yeah, I think we probably, statistically we probably are, but logically, I don't know if it is possible to simulate a universe, so I'd say I would bet probably not, but it'd be pretty cool if we were in a little simulation, wouldn't it? That would make me feel like there's just, less cares, like, oh no, I didn't do the laundry today, don't worry, it's a simulation, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But maybe that's just me, maybe that everyone else is a bit more, caring about what the universe is like. But yeah, I think that we are in some form of simulation, probably, maybe, perhaps. Anyway, with that said, let's move to the next question, which comes in from Francis Lapointe Jr., so that's quite the nice name, by the way, who says, #QnA, do you think that by the end of your lifetime there'll be a way to cross the ocean by car or train? So, do I think there'll be a way to cross the ocean by car or train by the end of my lifetime? And I think the answer is no. I think there's never going to be a land bridge between, I assume the ocean you mean is the Atlantic one, the UK and, America, because that's such a ridiculously insurmountable thing. And plus, how are you going to have bridges go through that? How are you going to maintain that bridge? Let's say the bridge breaks halfway in between. That's going to take so long to fix, and you can have a backup of cars which is continents wide. So yeah, I don't think there'll ever be a land bridge, but I think flying's going to become more and more common between now and then. Because even though people say flying's horrible for the environment, truth be told, I want to say it's the same amount of bad, if not better, per passenger or whatever. Plus, flying is getting shorter and shorter distance all the time. There's actually there's a flight, I looked this up, there's a flight which is only 2 minutes long from one of the Scotland Isles to one of the other ones. There are flights which are literally, less than 2 minutes now, and I think flying is just an efficient way to get lots of people from one place to another without needing to care about the terrain. So I think in reality, planes will get faster, more efficient, and you might just be like, I'd like to go to New York this afternoon. You hop on your, super fast plane, you'll be there, a couple of hours later. I think that's what will eventually happen. But, I don't think they'll be we'll take a car there, because that'd be such a long drive. That'd be a 24-hour drive across an ocean. You'd have to have, artificial... Basically, no, I don't think there would be, I don't think there would be bridges across oceans. As cool as that would be, there's, a billion reasons why it's impractical, and, one reason to do it, and that reason is, wouldn't it be cool? And, yeah, I don't know if that's quite a good enough one for me personally. With that said, though, let's move to the next question, which comes in from VAC, which I assume stands for air conditioning. So, the air conditioning asks, Toycat, what do you think about capes like the Battle Cape, which is for winning 100 public battle games? So, what do I think about, capes or something? I would really like it if 4G added some form of, competitive aspect to battle, so you could have, rewards for winning so many games, or you could have, stats that track that sort of stuff, but they've always stated that battle is meant to be, kind of a semi-casual game mode, so that, you can play it with friends, and that's why they even encourage you to team up in the game files. I think it's a very bizarre decision, personally, to just be yeah, let's just ignore, people who want to take it seriously, and if it was my choice, I would change it, but again, that's their own thing. I would say the only thing we can do if you want to have, serious stuff like a cape, which would be pretty cool, wouldn't it be awesome to be yeah, won this many games, look at my cape. I think the truth is that 4J don't understand that there is a lot of us that play Battle for this reason, or maybe there isn't, I don't know. But maybe, I would say the best way to get change is probably just to tweet at 4J Studios saying, yeah, please could you do this? And if clearly enough people want it, then it's something they'll consider doing in the future. Whereas right now they just assume that, oh yeah, most people just play Battle as like a fun, oh, I want to simulate that Hunger Games thing I saw on YouTube. But that's not everyone. A lot of people do like Battle as a bit more serious, and I think it would be great if they could add more. But, you know, right now their plans aren't to do so. Maybe if you tweet it'll change their minds, but for me it's just like, that's a shame. I think, okay, wait, make Battle competitive. Competitive would be my, like, little slogan on that, but I would love to see it get changed, but it won't. So yeah, that's it. Let's move to the next question, because as sad as that one is, which comes in from Patrick Plays, who says, channel plans for the next few years. So I don't plan my channel like years in advance, like I plan it to like a week in advance, if that. But as far as, you know, what is my plan for YouTube over the next few years, because I always mention how like I take YouTube year by year, because YouTube is one of the most ridiculously variable jobs. It's like any, you know, like public figure job where, oh yeah, right now you're doing well, and next year, guess what, you're homeless. So yeah, as far as my actual plan for the next year, it's keep making the YouTube videos that, you know, lots of you guys want to see. I've got some cool ideas I want to work on over that time, you know, like whether it is just the Minecraft stuff, like there's actually like a mashup pack that they hinted like 4 years ago that never went anywhere. I figured that'd be a cool video. Maybe I already made it, maybe it's already gone up by now, but no, there's a bunch of little concepts I want to work on over the next year, and just really, again, like keep taking the channel up a level and do some more cool stuff that makes people go, wow, yeah, that's awesome. Obviously whenever updates come out, I'm going to be covering those like crazy. I think I will expand the tiniest bit more whenever a brand new game comes out and do that, because again, Skyrim Remastered was last Thursday. It's actually slightly later on today for me, but you know, all these this is like game season, November, so I want to definitely do stuff. What's the game called? Dishonored 2. I'd love to stream that. I'm going to be doing more streams of other games, and that's like this year's plan. But as far as like the far future, because I assume you're asking, so how long are you doing Minecraft for? So again, I'm taking YouTube year by year. If somehow I'm still doing this in like 3 years, then I'd be like very appreciative to everyone that keeps staying around till then. But if that is the case, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to keep on doing Minecraft, because it is, or Minecraft console, I guess, specifically to some extent, because it is something I do play a lot of. Like, even if I wasn't doing YouTube, I'd be playing this Let's Play world like crazy, and it's a game I still do enjoy. A lot of you still seem to really enjoy it, and as long as both those things are still the case, I think we'll keep making these videos, because a lot of you keep seeming to want to watch them. And as well as doing that, though, I think at some point it might decline, but it's going to be like years down the line, because as long as there is a constant feed of updates, and as long as there is, like, you know, more and more things to do and whatnot, I think, I think the console version has like a relatively long history, not history, I guess future. That's the one I'm going for. I think it does have a long future ahead of it, and I think that I'll be covering it on my channel for quite some time for now. I think at some point there's going to be like some big switch. I don't know whether that switch will just be off YouTube, like, you know, suddenly the YouTube channel can't sustain itself anymore because, you know, everything. You see a lot of Minecraft channels that were really big like 2-3 years ago, and now they're dead. That could just happen sometimes. Sometimes everyone just decides, you know what, we're done with this dude, let's stop watching him. And hopefully that doesn't happen to me over the next couple of years. That'd be nice if that was the case. But I guess we really have to just take it as we see it. As far as, like, you know, lots of people are always like, oh, so what's the next big game you got planned? So I think no game can ever really have the same kind of, like, I guess, dynamic that Minecraft does, where there's just a billion aspects to it. So I think what might end up happening is, like, covering different games like Minecraft on different bases, or maybe a game like Hearthstone, because I play card games like crazy. I can't tell you for sure what's going on with, you know, the future. All I can say is I want to just keep doing what I love doing, and we'll see what happens from there. Because the thing about what I love doing is I love doing stuff that you like to see also, and it's worked out so far. Let's see how it works out in the future, I guess. So that was me kind of awkwardly just going through there for my first time, but those are my thoughts. Maybe you got something from it. Maybe you think, oh, it's like cat, you need money to survive and like pay your mortgage or whatever. Oh, what a money whore. But whatever it is you got from that, I hope you got something. And if you didn't, then we'll move to the next question, which comes in from Snowing Cheese, which is a type of cheese I didn't know that existed, but I guess if you like grow some cows in like a really northern region. Anyway, but basically they ask, what if you had to build your house rather than buying one? So yeah, if I had to build a house, I would be really pumped about that, because the reason you don't build a house is because it's more expensive, but you could do really awesome stuff like a secret passageway. You could have like you could do a bunch of ridiculous stuff, and because you're the one that built it, no one would ever know otherwise. Like you always hear about secret passageways which have like guns hidden in them, or maybe you don't. It was in the one film the one time, and yeah, I would really enjoy building a house, but I wouldn't enjoy the process of like getting builders in there, then the builders being like a year late and stuff like that. And maybe at some point in the far future, I'll be a millionaire who can afford to build houses. But right now, I'm pretty sure it's cheaper to just buy a house. But maybe I'm wrong on that, and that's why I didn't build my own house, Mr. Snowing Cheese. cheese. Again, I really want to know what snowing cheese is, but for now, I'll just say thank you for the question. Let's move on to the next one, or the final one, which comes in from Raygun79, who says, #QnA, Toy Cat, will you play Sun and Moon? Yes, of course I will. Well, I'm not going to be playing both. I'm going to pick one. Haven't decided which. I think it's going to be Pokemon Moon. However, when I do get it, I can't play it on the channel because one, Nintendo claim all their gameplay on YouTube, and two, it's on a 3DS, which I can't capture. So, yeah, what I think I'll do is, because it comes out on like a Thursday or a Friday, I'll record the videos in that morning, maybe even stream in the morning, and then just like binge play the whole day. And then so I get to the end. Oh, and the other question lots of people ask, like, oh, what starter are you going to get? I looked at them very briefly, and I think the water one that looks like a seal mixed with a penguin, I think I'm going to go with that. So, yeah, going to get the Sealy Penguin Pokemon, and I'm going to, the water one, I guess you could call it, and I'm going to be playing it, like, just all day, so the next day I can get back into some weird stuff. Because that's the problem with video games. When they come out, if they're too good, I get addicted, and I play for too long, and then videos get... Basically, yeah, I'm going to be playing Pokemon Sun or Moon. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I hear it looks a lot better than Pokemon X and Y, which I had a lot of fun with. It was like a 12-hour great experience. Let's see if we can just fit that all into one day with Pokemon Sun and Moon. So, yeah, that said, I hope you did all enjoy this week's Q&A. If you did all like it, like the video, let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let us know you do like the Q&A Saturday stuff. Share that if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching, and goodbye.